One of the strongest emotions is being curious. What does that mean? Oh look, an Easter egg. SSO? What is that? What year are we in? What map is on each planet? Why does it says characters and not skins? Is this a sport? No, it's much deeper. What was that sound? In today's video, I will be explaining and theorizing the lore and every little detail about this game. So make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell because this video took a very long time to make, and I don't think I can survive off of scraps. Okay. What is SSL? SSL, also known as the Soul Splitgate League, is a sport where the planets in the solar system come together as one to compete in the Splitgate games, fighting for glory, riches, honor, or even fighting in desperation. Each faction has a homeland: Eros on Earth, Meridian in Venus, and Sabrask on Mars. Eros having the most championship wins in the SSL, but also the most maps in Splitgate, being Academy, Bypass, Ozone, and Stadium. Let's take a careful look at these maps. Academy is a place where the people who want to be picked or get picked go and learn to ace the portal and to control the arena in the SSL. As you can see in the trophy room, this is where they show off their achievements from the SSL. Now taking a look outside, we are in space, far from Earth's atmosphere, where the Academy have its own Niven ring. So the students and the staff can live in this academy together. Bypass, the second Eros map, having beautiful sceneries and an amazing soul space view called Ionia. If you stay in this building, you will hear a voice. It's a little hard to hear, but it's still interesting how they can put little details like this in here. And talking about little details, go to the subway entrance in Bypass, of course, and you will see elevator doors with one door kinda open. Look through this door and you will see two notes. One saying, "Don't feed the shark," and the other saying, "No." I don't know what this means, and I tried shooting anything to see if something will activate, but it seemed like nothing happened. Tell me in the comments if anything you try works out, or tell me in the comments what the heck does this mean. Also, behind the doors, you will see comics, and one of them has a QR code. I tried to scan it, but sadly, it didn't work. Ozone, another map set in the Eros faction, located on Earth, high in the sky, of course. This map don't really have anything special except some advertisements. Maybe some type of energy drink. Makes sense, since it is Eros we're talking about. A video talking about Splitgate 2 ads? We gotta do that. Anyways, Stadium, the last Eros map set on Earth in the city. Another Stadium map like Ozone, but just more advertisements. And maybe one little cool thing that is in both sides of the map. There are hallways behind these walls. Maybe it's locker rooms, or it may open up in future game mode. Who knows? Meridian, the faction that achieves to be perfect, having the most advanced technology out of both factions, having the maps of Core, Eden, and Zenith, all of which are set on the planet Venus. Or is it? Core, a deep map within underground maintained by the Meridians to harvest and ship very valuable resources. If the SSL wasn't live at this moment, the workers would get their helmets and get to work. Not just humans, but these little bots as well. What do these do exactly? Well, you know the Marvins from Titanfall? Well, they're basically like that, with some who specialize in work like electrical, computer, and etc., with others who specialize in combat. Also, the environment is pretty interactable. I wonder what these resources are. Only time will tell. Eden, a map that I don't know if it's from Meridian, but I'll say it is because the colors match up with Meridian colors. The only interesting about this map is that there's a spa, a huge planet, and a ship that flies around. Oh wait, there's a Meridian car named Atlas. Oh, where have I seen this? Oh yeah, on the map Ozone, a Aeros car. Will we be able to ride these luxury cars in the future? Only time can tell. I really hope we do though. Remember when I said there really wasn't anything important in this map? Well, I lied. Make sure to pay attention. Because if you look closely in the expo area, you will see a sanctum wall that was excavated by Fume Laboratories. They continue to unravel the mysteries of the Tok'ran. Tok'ran, we're going to be talking about that later in the video. In Fume Laboratories, the Fume family has a collection of ancient artifacts all over Eden. So I'm guessing that the Fume family made Fume Laboratories to do research on the Tok'ran, tackling these Tok'ran artifacts since post-impact event in 2232. Post-impact event. And mind you, more Tok'ran stuff later in this video, so stay tuned because it's getting mad interesting. And lastly, for the Meridian maps is Zenith, a close but very, very big city ship. Whatever this is, I love it. And it's above Venus. Taking his ships from the planet and back, a vastly huge city, with the middle having the big showdown, the Splitgate League, with the rainforest biome, lava biome, and a huge hall of fame. Let's take a look in the lava biome. This is a simulation of the volcano Monstrum Mounds, which is known to be the largest volcano in the galaxy, which is located in Inferno. And the Onslaught map Inferno is definitely in the planet Inferno. They just look too similar, and the name is too similar as well. Now taking a look in the forest biome, named the New Phaloi, located on the planet Ananux in star system Sirius A. I believe that the Onslaught map Syncdom is linked up to this planet. Also, if you go on the Hall of Fame hallway, you will see that the Galactus is featured with other guns, and another gun that we have never seen before. Shout out to Anixity for pointing out these little worded details in the Zenith map. Also, I will be explaining more lore stuff about the Series A, all the planets, all the guns, characters, and other things that you have definitely missed on more Splitgate 2 lore videos. If you want more of those, let's get 10 likes. Without further ado, let's get back into the video. Sabrask. Sabrask lacks technology compared to the other factions, but Sabrask is a mighty faction that honors its homeland, having the maps of Frontier, Grit, and just those two. Frontier, a map that at first glance, I second guess if it was even in the Sabrask faction due to all the plant life. But then I remember that Splitgate 2 is set 1,000 to 2,000 years in the future, where humans can make any planet habitable. Frontier must be a bioregenerative life support system where there are artificial ecosystems designed to support human life with artificial plants and trees that adapted to Mars' environment and water that has been supplied over time. In due time, the atmosphere on Mars changed to be more habitable for humans, with so creating soil that can grow at high rates on a planet like Mars. Grit, a stadium within the city where people watch the SSL before their very eyes on Mars. Grit has 2 locker rooms, 1 firing range, another room like an indoor gym, and finally the middle of the map where Sabrask honored their faction with a statue with 17 trophies in the Champion Hall, and if you look carefully, jetpack high up, and you can see a very big headless Sabrask statue. I wonder why it's headless. The 5 simulation maps are what I theorize to be a freely ever-changing arena where all the factions or just one come here to train before the SSL. And finally, the 5 Onslaught maps. We theorize that the Sanctum Onslaught map is on the planet of Ananux, and Inferno on the planet Inferno, and Fracture floating in space next to this big, beautiful planet. I wonder what this planet is, and it kind of reminds me of Titanfall for some reason, in a good way, of course. Titanfall's peak. Anyways, but I wonder what planet Glacier is on. Only time will tell. And talking about time, Glacier was founded in 2781, while Drought, Fracture, and Inferno was founded in 2271. And, oh, wait a minute. Wasn't there another Onslaught map? Oh, yeah. Sanctum, a very strange map, not only because it connects the other Onslaught maps together, but because if you look around, you would see weird symbols unknown to any human language carved into these stones, balls placed or floating with unknown icons and strange noises sounding almost unnatural, making us wonder, in this big solar system, are we the only ones? With how small, destroyed, and barely any SSL buildings, I wonder if the SSL rushed their new game mode in order to keep their audience entertained. Or maybe the Takran resides in this planet, waiting for the right time to strike. But somehow the SSL has still managed to secure this area. Was it abandoned when they got here, or did they have to fight something to acquire this land and this technology? What are characters in Splitgate 2? Well, Eros, Meridian, and Sabras, the three factions, have character skins. But if you keep looking, eventually you will see just character. What does this mean? Well, simple really. Characters in the different factions are just different people. It's not just one dude named Eros, because if that was the case, then this would be a hero shooter. But when it comes to lore, maybe these characters will have their own story one day. Back in the alpha beta 5 months ago, there were Splitgate 2 comics, and if we just go to the collection area, where you can see the three characters' names and backstories, if you go in the game, their names are still there. Plus, the final skin named Adoro is accurate to the first volume of the first Splitgate 2 comic. Going back to the collections, there were even supposed to be more characters, some of which that don't even look human. And the ones that we see in the game must have been the ones we would have seen in the collection having their own backstory. 1047 Games, if you're watching this, please do not scrap the comics or even the idea of Splitgate 2 lore, not only because it can keep players hooked and invested, but because now that people actually know Splitgate 2 even exists, we are starving for more lore. The reason this failed at first is because nobody knew Splitgate 2 even existed. If you did these comics after the release of Splitgate 2, I would be sure that it would succeed. Look at how many people wanted the campaign. So please continue the comics and the lore of Splitgate 2 1047 Games. That's it for today's video, guys. If you want me to do the entire lore, explaining the entire lore of the Splitgate 2 comics, even though it's not canon, but I think it is canon because the story still lines up to Splitgate 2 right now, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see y'all guys on the next video. Peace.